Republican Congressman and Chairman of House Judiciary Robert Goodlatte is joining us. He's representing a district in Virginia. Mr. Chairman, good to have you with us this morning.
It's great to be with you.
So he sponsored the House bill, this USA Freedom Act. Congressman, what's your reaction to what's going on in the Senate? This is a rare and unique territory we're dealing in where House Republicans and the White House are on the same side of an argument.
Yeah, and House Democrats, too. This bill, the USA Freedom Act, which ends the bulk collection of data that has been so controversial, and not just under the Section 215 of the Patriot Act, but under several other statutes, and not just telephone metadata, but any kind of metadata. The House bill, which passed 338 to 88, overwhelmingly supported, was sent to the Senate weeks ago, and unfortunately, arcane Senate rules have put them in the situation where one senator is able to delay this process. We're hopeful that the reformed bill, the House-passed bill, which would allow the other sections of the Patriot Act to continue and the traditional uses of it, not this bulk data collection, would be allowed to continue. It expires at midnight tonight. And if the Senate can't get their act together, it could go several days without those laws being available to protect American citizens from suspected terrorists.
So you mentioned this one senator, let's just call his name, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, who is running for the GOP nomination. He promises that the Patriot Act, which he calls the NSA illegal spying program, will expire today. Listen to the senator's comments.
There is no constitutional justification for the government to collect all of your phone records without your name on a warrant, without suspicion, and not signed by a judge. Your privacy is yours, your records are yours, and the government needs to leave us alone.
So that is the one senator you're naming. What's your response to his comments?
Well, that's the irony of it, because the House-passed bill does just that. It ends government bulk collection of data, and not just the telephone metadata he referred to in his speech, but any kind of metadata, and over several statutes, not just the one that expires tonight. So, look, I understand presidential politics, and I understand that sometimes people have to make their point, but the point here really is that the House has acted, the Senate needs to act, and we can have very, very strong protection of our civil liberties if we're able to get this bill passed by the Senate and signed into law by the President, and we'll still have strong national security protections as well to keep Americans safe from terrorism. That's what the House has done. The Senate needs to join us.
Mr. Chairman, you say that it ends the bulk collection of this metadata, but is not the compromise that's being considered or will be considered this afternoon is that that metadata will be held by these telecom companies and that will have to be requested by the government. So it's still collected and held in the case that the government wants it.
No, the House-passed bill simply says that you can go to the telephone companies with a court order, and this is different than the way the current program works, but with a court order and ask for specific data, but you cannot ask for and collect bulk data as has been done by the NSA for the past few years, and that's the critical difference. We stopped that in the House bill.
20 seconds, Mr. Chairman. Are you optimistic, or do you believe that there will be a lapse, that this will not be passed tonight by the Senate?
Well, the House operates under very different rules than the Senate, and the Senate rules, particularly when you're up against a deadline like this and particular intelligence gathering under court orders, would be required to halt for a period of time until the Senate rules allowed them to proceed, is concerning to me. I hope they find a way to get this done today, but if they don't get it done today, I hope they get it done as quickly as possible, because the House bill needs to be passed by the Senate and sent to the President to be signed into law.
All right, Congressman Bob Goodlatte, Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And the